どうもシンの森です。今回から6月29日発売の新マップ、ランチョ、デル、アロヨ、改め、渓谷牧場をやっていこうと思います。
Welcome to Rancho del Arroyo. Your flight was okay? Can I get you? This is Vaquero country. Generations of cowboys have eked out a living here, my family among them. But all that cattle ranching has left its mark. I'd be trading this land's future for a quick buck if I wasn't prepared to face up to that. You've been all over the world, hunted in countless reserves. If anyone knows what this place needs to compete with the best of them, it's you. So, I want you to help us make a change. Become northern Mexico's leading biosphere and hunting reserve. Let me explain. ¿Qué onda, sleepyhead? It's time to get to work. If you want to head out and work off last night's carne asada, do me the honor of officially opening this outpost first, huh? Or feel free to scout out the place. Get the bacanora out of your system. This building, La Casa Grande, or the Big House, is gonna be your base of operations. I know, it's a mess. I took my own stuff, but nobody's volunteered to come pick up the family's things yet. So look all you want, but don't touch. My mom would come over and hit me with her flip-flop if I so much as hinted that someone had been rummaging around. Family, you know? Anyway, settle in. U.S. hunters love to glass terrain with binoculars. But if you find yourself in denser cover, tracking's the way to go. Just make sure you keep your bearings.
.ここが初めのアウトポストか、美しすぎて感動だ。
Not a bad place to put your feet up, no? Come back whenever you need a real bed. Now, I know you've mastered some pretty extreme environments, but the desert isn't something you can just stroll into. Why don't you do some scouting from the lookout tower nearby? The first step to surviving out here is knowing where the water is. That'll lead you to the food, and I'm sure you can figure out the rest.
.家の中でインタラクトできるものが6つあるみたいです。
My abuela insisted on the cross. At least we managed to convince her that one was enough, huh? No one's really been in here much since my bisabuelo, that's my great-grandfather, since he died. That's a soldadera's hat. A woman revolutionary. My sister borrowed it for the centenary celebrations in Mexico City a few years ago. Let no one tell you Mexican women are afraid to do the dirty work. That was my great-grandfather Javier's. I swear that man used to take the damn thing into the bathroom with him. He was a vaquero through and through. Hey, I don't mean to stress you out or anything, but this isn't quite what I meant by scouting the place out. I told her to take those down. This is what I did when the other boys were out playing soccer. Managed to make a career out of it, at least.
「あと1個が見当たらんな。
The Underdogs, by Mariano Azuela. It's about the revolution. My bisabuelo Javier used to complain that Azuela had gotten it all wrong. And I should know I was there. But he must have read it cover to cover 20 times. Well, you're thorough. I'll give you that.
では、監視塔に行こうかな。
Looks captivating, no? Except a lot of the problem with ranches like this one is what you can't see. We've sucked up so much of the groundwater for cattle that areas that used to be wetlands are turning arid year-round. The grasslands are mostly buffalo grass. It's an introduced species that smothers native plants. Likes to catch fire, too. I once saw a saguaro, one of those classic cactus plants, surrounded by buffalo grass, burst into flames. It was one of the kicks in the rear I needed to finally sell off the last of our cattle. Anyway, take the time to explore the ranch in your downtime too. If even half of what I heard growing up is true, there is plenty waiting out there. So, while I'm stuck waiting for someone, they said less than a minute, but out here that means at least 5. You're probably more like 20. Anyway, you're here to evaluate the facilities, but there are a few things I need you to take care of first. I'll make it worth your while, of course. First up, the cattle may be gone, but there's still some fencing left. There should be a pair of fencing pliers on the countertop in the hacienda's kitchen.
フェンスを片付けろと。
That's them. I'll mark the spot on your hunter raid.
農園の目の前にありました。
Take it section by section. Hey, watch yourself there. The nearest hospital would laugh you out of the building if you told them you needed a tetanus shot for a barbed wire cut just because you weren't wearing gloves. And now the posts. You can pile them up in a heap and I'll have someone collect them later. Whew. I'm getting sweaty just watching you. Hey, don't get me wrong. I actually wanted to check this one off the list myself, but I had some matters to attend to in town. It's a big moment for the ranch, staring down the last of the fencing. The Soto family has raised cattle on this land since Mexico's independence. My mom... now you're making me sentimental. Look, how about a change of pace, huh? I'm stuck here, waiting, and you're probably itching to put that trigger finger to good use, so let's have some fun. Things out here aren't all business, you know? You ever hunted pheasant before, no? Well, I'm no expert, but I picked up a couple of pointers from my friends over the border when we introduced these guys, so I can show you the ropes. Head over to the region marked on your hunter mate and we'll get started. Pheasants are shy, so look around for any evidence of them in vegetation cover.
キジ狩りとな。とりあえず雪すがりのアウトポストと監視塔をアンロックします。
Somewhere around here is a good place to start looking. So, the trick to pheasant hunting is maybe a little counterintuitive. You have to make them flee, or flush them out. They're lousy flyers, but we can use that to our advantage. We've just gotta get them to take off first. You know the rest. The right ammo for the job, of course, then it's pan comido, a piece of cake. And no one likes a cheater, so no shooting them on the ground, got it?
飛んだ生地を仕留めるわけね。3発消費で、雪すがりの狩り成功。 意外と難易度高かった、合唱。弾薬が適切じゃないからか。キジの痕跡を追っています。え？急に出た。ちゃんと飛んでる時に撃ってるわ。ああ、適切な弾薬じゃないからクリアじゃないのか。シナリム記事を求めてさまよいながら、施設をアンロックしています。
My abuela used to collect these. She doled them out on big occasions. The night before a test, a graduation. I probably still have a few lying around somewhere.
ここなんか、すごい味があるよね。今更ですが、キジの適正弾薬はクラス1で、ショットガンにぴったりのがあったので装備しときます。朝日が気持ちよすぎる。散々荒野を歩き回ったけどキジが出ないし、ようやく見つけて飛んでくれても草木に隠れていけませんでした。なんで、道路で驚かして飛ばそうと走り回っています。で食べた、思惑通りじゃ。あれ？イエス。いや、初めから難易度高かったな。合唱。
I'm not a bad teacher, no? Man, you're a pretty good pupil. My ambition is to make this the place to hunt pheasant in northern Mexico. If we can keep them this size, that shouldn't be a problem. Just gotta get the gringo tourists on board. They're a big money spinner, sure. But if that's what it takes to keep this place up and running, so be it. It's all for a good cause. Speaking of gringos, my cousin told me that she'd spotted some intruders with a US license plate going hog wild, shooting animals from, get this, from a hunting stand mounted to a pickup truck. My insurance doesn't cover them, and I doubt the hunting they're doing is particularly ethical. So can you keep a lookout? Gracias. Did you notice how dry the land around the old cattle pasture was? Even compared to the rest of the ranch, I mean. The more cattle you cram into a small area, the less ground cover there is. Water just runs off the land instead of making it into the vegetation. My parents' generation dug wells and pumped out several times more water than would rain in a year. When I told them my plans for this place, they weren't happy. Said I was selling out my inheritance. We haven't spoken much since. Of course, there are plenty of rancheros out here who graze their cattle responsibly. I just want to go in a different direction. I've tried explaining what they'd gain from it. They just wish me luck. But I've heard what they say behind my back. Chavita fresita. It's like, they're basically calling me a snob. They went to college in Mexico City, same as me. I just stayed a while after I graduated. Worked overseeing protected natural areas for CONAP. But back to business. Luckily for us, there's an easy solution to the groundwater problem. It just requires some more muscle on your part. I need you to set up a few gabions. They're wire mesh baskets you fill with rocks and place along the banks of the arroyo to accumulate silt, which holds the water like a sponge so it can trickle back into the ground. The winter rains aren't as predictable as they used to be. You know, with climate change doing a number on us. So, the sooner, the better.
ともかく、次のミッションに近いとこに飛びます。ミッション内容については概要欄をご覧ください。ということで今回はここでお開き、お付き合いに感謝。次回も渓谷牧場を進めていきます。言葉にしづらいけど、めちゃくちゃ楽しいです。では、またのお越しを。よろしければ、作業用の自然派動画として、チャンネル登録してもらうと嬉しいです。コメントもらうと喜びますし、いいねもらっても、もちろん喜びます。シンの森でした。